here we go then everyone, it's the season finale. 14 rounds spread across 4 months and it all comes down to this. We've been around the world from Brazil in September to Mexico here in December, and we've reached the final round of the Invictus Racing League and the PC F1 League, where since lights out in Brazil we've seen 8 different winners from 7 different teams and a championship conquered by one Williams driver, Kangaskhan, who we bestow our congratulations to. The Constructors' title goes down to the wire though, with Williams and McLaren separated by 16 points and a second place finish for either Williams driver being enough to win the title outright here in Mexico City. We are set there for a dramatic stadium showdown here in Mexico, and we thank every driver for providing us a dramatic and entertaining season like no other. There's 36 laps ahead of us, enough for a fairy tale ending to the season. A race sure to throw some twists and turns and create just a few more memories for this group of talented, determined and enthusiastic drivers who've joined us every week from around the world. It's Kangaskhan, your driver's champion for season 13, but strap in folks, there's one more sprint to the end and everyone will be wanting to finish on a high.
Hello everyone, welcome to the final round of Season 13 here at Invictus Racing League. You join us for PC F1, a season that has been full of drama throughout, and the drama is yet to end. Here are your constructors' standings: 169 points to Williams. McLaren chased them with 153. Williams are in the box seat to win the championship tonight. They require just 11 more points to ensure they wrap up the championship with full certainty. They currently are 16 ahead of McLaren. So it's all to play for. We've got new drivers in Williams who debuted last week out. We've got Tyne, who's joining in Williams alongside Kangaskhan, who took the championship earlier this year. But McLaren have fought hard throughout the rest of the season. They've had a change of lineup early on, and that's done wonders for them. And it's going to go right down to the last laps of this season to who will be declared championship of the constructors. So Williams lead, McLaren behind, 153 points, 16 separate them, 11 for Williams to claim the constructors. As you can see on this small feed there, we are waiting the beginning of qualifying, and Fozzy, it looks dry for the time being for one final qualifying session here at Invictus Racing League.
Dry for the start. Let's see if it stays that way, as you say, for the final qualifying session of this season, where we have 14 drivers ready to set a flying lap over the course of the next 17 minutes and 40 seconds. Everybody taking just a little bit of time to come out of the session. I'm hearing from Race Control it is dry throughout the qualifying session, so as much as it is overcast for now, well, let's follow the Haas and see if he does encounter any rain around the place. Now, normally Mexico is not somewhere where you see wet races, especially not in the real world. But as we've said on near enough every race Wednesday, Geek Cameron, that we can see rain at any moment. You never know when it's going to happen, but like I say, from Race Control, things look to be dry. So, Edu out in the Haas, the only Haas joining us today, who's I think just getting a reconnaissance lap on the tower, on the timing tower. He's out on the medium tyres, and he has just, well, he invalidated that lap just by going through the chicane. But yeah, Edu out at the moment, quite a few other drivers out there. It's all building up to that final shootout for pole position.
Yeah, the final pole position of this season. Who will it go to? Well, Edu isn't too, he's quite familiar with being up there in qualifying. Had a couple good qualifying sessions this season. Obviously, joining us later on in the season, he joined us in Britain. And he wasn't here for the first 3 rounds. Has 2 wins to his name. One in the Netherlands and another one in Spain just before Portugal, which was our last round. But yes, it's the outlap, and track limits are of importance here, Fozzy. But we're now going into the first flying lap of the final qualifying session here at Invictus Racing League. Take us away.
Yep, let's see what Edu can do on this flying lap then. It is a massive run down towards turn 1 from the starting grid, way over a kilometre long, so plenty of opportunities on the race start to make up some positions with slipstream should you not get a very good qualifying session. But let's see how the qualifying session goes for Edu as he negotiates turn 1 quite well. Kisses the curve of 2 and then into 3. Don't go too wide because the track limits will bite, but it looks like he stayed in the limits throughout all of that. It's the first DRS straight down towards the end of sector 2, which is just before, towards the end of sector 1, which is just before turn 4. Now it's a very tight section through here. You've got to have the right amount of downforce, and it looked like the back end just stepped away for Edu there And I can't... No, he hasn't backed off the lap. I thought he had for a moment there. He had that moment, but now we go into the S's. This is where you need a perfect balanced setup in order to maximise your lap time and get as much steering lock as you can on whilst taking as much top speed as you can. He keeps it through the track limits. It is obviously a purple Sector 2 as well. It's going to be the first time on the board that we see. And now this magnificent stadium section. Isn't this just great? Over 80,000 people can fit in that stadium. I don't think there's that many people watching us today, but let's see what Edu can do as he gets around the final corner. And the line comes at you quite quickly there as well. It's not as far down as the start-finish line, but the time to beat at the moment on the medium tyres is a 1:16.2.
Yeah, the crowd you hear roaring in real life in the stadium section, especially supporting their favourite Mexican driver in real life. But a good time from Edu there, setting the pace on the medium tyre, of course. And Liam Markham 3/10 off. Amir crosses the line, puts him an existential gap there. 8/10, almost a second between him and Edu. But isn't it amazing through the S section, Fozzy, no matter whether it's virtual or real life, just seeing the direction change capability of an F1 car is simply outstanding and is unrivaled. It gets me every time in real life and in the game how close to the limit you push these cars and how far they are willing to go. Marcus setting a lap time, the first on the soft tyre, now the second on the soft tyre, was 7/10 off, but Jeremy Clarkson in with a 1:14.742. The Mercedes driver joined us also later on in the season, sets the pace, 6/10 difference between him and Amir. Now qualifying in Mexico can be difficult. There's a lot of straight lines, of course. You've got the two DRS zones, both connected by the same detection point, which matters more so in the race. However, the track limits are very easy to go over, especially into the chicanes. We ride on with Jeremy Clarkson. It's easy to cut too far on the left corner here and then through the right. Same through the S's, and especially on the runoff, you've got to be ever so careful using that curb there, but not overstepping the mark. The white line is your track limit. And then here, a lot of drivers brake and change direction underneath that Marshall post sign. The black box is the easiest reference to use for your braking zone there. It's what Marcel Kiefer utilises, so a lot of drivers will be doing the same here. But Jeremy Clarkson still on top of the timing tower, 30 minutes in this insane qualifying session, the last one of PCF1, and so far it looks to be an interesting one, Fozzy.
Yeah, I'm just trying on board with Tane through. Oh, I was going to say through that S's section. He very nearly lost it, managed to keep it going, but I reckon he would have lost a couple of temps. It wasn't a purple Sector 1, it most certainly was a purple Sector 2 then for the Williams driver. Let's see if he can wrap it up quite nicely, like a well-wrapped Christmas present, as we go through the stadium section. To finish off this lap, he's one of 4 drivers yet to set a flying lap. Of those 4, he's the only one on the medium tyres. Let's see where he can get up to, and he's up to P7, which is, you know, considering it's a track you can overtake on, that's quite strong. And he had a good race as well last time, so be interested to see what he can do and if he can carry that through into the race.
Importantly, the two McLarens are currently ahead of the two Williams cars. Remember, Williams need 11 points to wrap up the title. Meanwhile, McLaren are 16 points behind, and they could do with, ideally, a 1-2. And at the moment on the grid, that's not the case, but they're halfway there by being ahead of the first Williams driver. Although Kangaskhan, we are waiting to set a lap time. He's still in the pits, so he'll have to come out shortly. Just under 12 minutes to go. But the championship winner so far is yet to set a representative lap time. Daigoro goes to P9 on the soft tyres with that Ferrari, and setting the pace for the Ferrari car. Again, only one Ferrari in this race, and same for the Alfa Romeo. Marcus, though, has joined us fairly well throughout the season, has been with us since the start. A couple of DNFs, though, but a few points here and there, with his highest points finish in, I believe that is Hungary there. So good work from the Marcus there, the flying Finn. Amir just getting out of the way for a few of the cars, as traffic is always an issue here. And just because it's the final round doesn't mean it's any less of a problem for the drivers. But interestingly so, a lot of the medium runners are still out there, and not many have gone over to that soft tyre yet, Fozzy. Obviously they're in the garage, but we do expect it to follow the usual flow of the programme, which is where they do the mediums, then go out to the softs. But do you reckon there'll be a couple drivers wanting to get through on that medium tyre to the top 10?
I think some people are going to take a bit of a gamble. It's the last race of the season. What have they got to lose? You know, a lot of people haven't got a great deal to lose, so they're going to try and go with a bit of a different strategy and see what cards they can play into the race. Kangaskhan, though, still in the pit lane. I wonder what he's thinking. I wonder if he's at his computer, is the main thing I'm wondering. But we hopefully will see him come out for a lap at the moment. Cass has also not set a lap time, but he is, I think, just about to finish the flying lap. So I'll just follow him around the final corner. He keeps it tight, he does there, and takes it to provisional pole with 1:14.4. Quite a few attempts ahead of Jeremy Clarkson as well. So that was a very good lap time from Cass.
Indeed, I had a little sneaky look through Time Trial earlier to get my information. We are looking around the 1:14s, potentially. One of the drivers set a high 1:13, I believe, but 1:14 mid to low is probably where we are looking at for that pole position, as the drivers will no doubt switch onto the soft tyres in order to remain competitive. The two McLarens, though, 6th and 7th currently, they seem to be inseparable, both in the time tower and on track.
Liam Markham down in P13 in a moment, but about to approach the finish line with a purple Sector 2. Let's see what he can do, and if he can make it a purple Sector 3. Again, another driver keeping it tight to the pit entry. Where does it take him? It takes him to the second row. Let's see if Bashi can join him up there as well, who's also on another flying lap and going through the S's. Great job from the AlphaTauri team so far. Not so much so in the Constructors' Championship. They are currently last. Only 1 point behind Aston Martin, though, and a few behind Alfa Romeo. So all to play for in the Constructors' Championship. But Bashi enters the stadium section. Let's see if he can join, as I say, his teammate up there on the second row, or even if he can surprise us and go a bit further onto the front row. I don't think it's a purple Sector 2. Amir's looking like he wants to go on the front row. He's going to go right to the front. Where does Bashi go? Well, he goes right behind Liam Markham on the third row of the grid.
Indeed, AlphaTauri will have a lot to play for this evening. We'll most likely get that P9 slot, as there is no Aston Martin driver joining us this evening. Mustaris unable to do so. Curlin left earlier in the league, but potentially they could even jump to the high heights of P8, and that would be a good sort of end to the season for them. A season in which has been a bit of an upside down season. They had that win early on, Liam Markham, and Bashi had that long streak of not DNFing, didn't he? And unfortunately that also came to an end earlier on the season. But P8 will be a great drive for them, for the both drivers there, and they're a team that seems to work really well together. Now, I haven't had any dramatics on track nor off track, as Jasper very close to the track limit through the exit of that chicane there, turn 3. Very lucky to not invalidate, using all the curb and some more. We do have a yellow flag. That's just a Haas getting out of the way. On the exit of turn 5, though, getting a little bit squirrely on the power of the McLaren, not wanting the sudden direction change that Jasper desires as we head through the S's section. And Amir going faster once again, a 1:14.116 at low 1:14s, potentially a 1:13 in the bank there, and lovely change of direction. Jasper bails, though. He invalidates his lap, had the change of direction, but did not keep within track limit, so he bails from that, and so does RSD. He's on a slow lap as well, but Amir up there, and so is esports. We talked about him qualifying earlier. He's only 3/10, or just shy of 3/10 from pole position. A cheeky pole position from a Haas coming in this way, Fozzy.
Well, we've had a couple of wins from Edu as well. Not last round, but the round before, and then a few rounds before that. Last round back in Singapore wasn't the best round he would have been looking for. A DNF, his first of the season since he joined us in round 4. But to be up there on the front row with Amir, very, very good. Now, remind me if I'm wrong, Cameron, but was Amir on pole last time? We was definitely up on the front row. I remember the Red Bulls had a very good session in Singapore. I don't think it carried through into the race, but from what I remember, their qualifying was pretty strong, so it's good to see they still got that qualifying form as well. Kankan still down in the pits, though.
Amir did have the form, the other Red Bull didn't, unfortunately, but Amir took the win, remember. It was the other daring Dane that unfortunately missed out, had a spin early on, I believe, and unfortunately never fully recovered. But Amir knows how to win, took the first win for Red Bull this season, and potentially his last, but this sets him up so far so good. Remember that in real life, it wasn't pole position that was the place to be, it was P3 behind the person on pole, getting that double slipstream into turn 1, and that could prove ever so useful, as that's where Edu finds himself now. But look at Mert, season 12 champion, missed out this season, wasn't here for a long part of it, back again in the Alpine once more, and only 300ths off pole position. He has experience, and that experience might just help him with this high caliber of drivers.
Purple sector 2 for RSD. His teammate Jasper has just gone up to the second row of the grid. Can RSD join him up there? No, he can't, but he can join him right behind him. P5, Edie finds himself in a bit of a McLaren sandwich. He's on an out lap. We'll be putting in another flying lap very soon, Cameron.
Kangaskhan yet to exit the pits. This is getting it close. He's not going to have much time to set a lap, if any time at all. He's got 5 minutes in order to get out, potentially 2 or 3 laps, but it's coming down to the wire for the champion, and he might win one championship, might lose out on the other, because a back row start is not what you want, even though you do have the points gap from McLaren. But currently McLaren sitting 3rd and 5th. That sets them up well, especially if their race pace is as strong, if not stronger, than their qualifying pace. But Edu just separating the two currently, and Cass also up there in P6 at 4/10 off, but he has also qualified well throughout the season, and he continues that run today. Tyne, though, the lead Williams driver in P8, 7/10 off the front row, and crucially 5/10 off the lead McLaren, and that is a gap which he'll be, well, really requiring to be reduced, if not going the other way. There is yellow flag, sector 3, that's a McLaren slowing down, but Liam Marker might come across a bit of traffic as we ride on board with the 88 AlphaTauri. He had his win in round 2 of this season in Australia, and unfortunately has had bad luck since. Could his luck change today? No traffic issues. He does slow down slightly through the stadium section, not carrying all the speed through, and he spins around into the pit lane, and that is wing damage. He's got enough time to just about get in and get out. Whoa, there's a McLaren in the face, and the 88 car luckily bins it in a place which he can get quick access to the pit. It's going to take around a minute and 2 minutes to replace that wing though, Fozzy, and that only requires, or only leaves about 2 minutes left on the clock, so it's going to be tight for AlphaTauri in order to get that final run into.
Yeah, going to be very tight for AlphaTauri. McLaren, I think, are going to be happy with their positions above both Williams drivers. That's fantastic for the constructors, exactly what they need. Let's hope they can take that through into the race. I think we can probably safely discount Kangaskhan from setting a lap time in this session. We haven't seen him throughout the past 15 minutes, and it doesn't look like there's much movement in that Williams garage either. So I think the Frenchman just taking it easy this qualifying session. He knows he's won the Drivers' Championship, but does he know it is a constructors' battle still raging on?
I'm not too sure. He's taken his trophy. He's got the big trophy. Why go for the other one, eh? It's for the teammates to do the work, and Tyne is doing the work. He's had a change of teammate as well. There was a time where we had a different couple. We had Delange, didn't we? He stepped down to F2, and then Tyne came in to replace. Now, following Jeremy Clarkson, he's currently revving his gearbox, trying to ensure that Gear 3 certainly does work. He now changes up a couple gears, and I'm sure the engineers will be grimacing at that. There is an AlphaTauri, though, stopped at the end of the chicane. Who is that? That is Bashi, Fozzy.
Yeah, Bashi looked like he had a little bit of a moment, so that's strike 2 for the AlphaTauri team in this session. That's not going to help their P10 in the Constructors' Championship, which is where Bashi currently remains at the moment in his qualifying session, down in P10. Don't think he got too much damage there. Didn't lose too much, did Bashi? So it doesn't say he's on an out lap either, so that might have been the start of a flying lap. There were quite a few cars around that turn 1, 2, 3 section, and it looks like there is on the driver tracker quite a few cars there as well at the moment, so maybe he just tripped over a little bit of traffic, but it doesn't look like Bash is going to be improving all too much on that P10. Good thing is he starts behind his teammate. Maybe they could use that in the race.
Indeed, Exal Mert looking to one-up the person ahead of him. He exits the pits. Amir is on a flying lap, just beginning his flying lap. Mert is just starting his out lap here, and he might actually give Amir a little bit of a helping hand with a bit of DRS. 300 separate the two drivers, but who will come out on top? 1 minute and 30. We'll find out. But Amir still flying through the early stages of Sector 1, the second DRS zone. As I mentioned earlier, these two DRS zones are linked in the race, so the first DRS detection point is ever so crucial. He's got a bit of traffic in the way. The likes of an Alpine now will be Mert, who I'm sure will want to get out of the way, but I'm sure he'll also be wanting to play a few tricks. But no, look at that experience and the high caliber. He gets out of the way before the S's, minimising any disruption. Amir, though, now on a flying lap. Less than 60 seconds remain for the final qualifying session of PC F1 here in Season 13 at Invictus Racing League, and who will be your pole sitter? Amir is on the throne at the moment, but a couple of the drivers are looking to take that prize spot away from him. There's a yellow flag, sector 1. Let's not worry about that for now. Amir looking to cross the line around the final corner, easy on the traction. Will it be purple, or will he have to go again? He crosses the line, and that is a big gap. A 1:13.781 is your time to beat. Can Mert take that challenge on and rise above it? He begins his final flying lap now down the first DRS zone. It's a long DRS zone indeed. It's a long straight, and this will prove crucial in the race. Heading into turn 1, get the change direction, use the curb, balance the car on it through turn 2, then turn 3, use the runoff on the left hand side. Not all of it, you don't want to overdo the track limits. DRS once again, and he does look to abort from this lap, Fozzy. He's slowed down, and that is ever so crucial. The timer has crossed over, the checkered flag is out. Mert will not improve, Fozzy.
I think he's thinking of the race. He probably doesn't want Amir to have that slipstream on that run down towards turn 1. He's probably thinking, hang on, if there's a slipstream on offer, I'm going to take it. So we might see a move from Merck on lap 1 into turn 1. But yeah, as it looks like, if you haven't started your flying lap at the moment, you're most certainly not going to finish, as Cass does exactly what Liam Markham just did and spins into the pit lane there. He wasn't on an outlap. I think he was looking to try and improve.
RSD setting a purple sector 2. Just a couple more corners to go now. Let's see what he can do. 7 steps separate the difference. He's going slightly slower. Let's see though. He's got the final corner to go. Use up all the ERS, all the battery across the line. There's debris there. Don't worry about that. RSD joins Amir on the front row. 3/10 is the difference, but that might be ever so crucial for the constructors' battle. Jasper finishes in 4th position. That's a great place to start when your lead Williams driver is in 8th and the champion is down in 14th and did not set a lap time, Fozzy.
Do you think Merck is regretting not going for that flying lap now? Maybe he was thinking he wasn't going to be dislodged any further than where he was, but we've seen in the real world what you can do from P3. But it has left Merck with quite a lot of work to do going into turn 1, Cameron.
If there's anyone that can do it, it's Mert. He has the experience behind him, and P3 isn't necessarily a bad place to be. You'll get a double slipstream on the start, but you've got to make that move clean into turn 1. We've seen certain drivers in real life not defend it as much as others have done or should do, and that might be the case here, but I have a feeling the likes of Amir, RSD and Jasper are going to be equally wanting this win as much as possible. Remember, McLaren need to outscore Williams by 16 points. Williams only need 11 points to take the victory in the constructors and secure that title. So I believe, don't trust you on my mouse here, but it's a 1-2 plus fastest lap is going to give McLaren their best chance. Well, it does anyway, but will certainly be a requirement this evening, Fozzy. But there is your classification. Quite a gap. A second covers the top 8. But yeah, we will look forward to the race.
And just look how close it was between Bashi and Adam. It couldn't have been much closer. If it was, they'd have been tied for times down there. Kankan not setting a lap time in that session. Amir taking his winning form and having just over 3 attempts. That's a third of a second ahead of everybody else. That is a stellar flying lap from Amir. And, well, will he be able to take it into the race? We'll have to wait and see how he does over the course of the next 36 laps. It's a long race. We know anything can happen. If there's rain, then it does throw strategy into the air. If it's a 1-stop or a 2-stop, well, let's ask Cameron and see what he thinks. Cameron, what are you thinking? I know you've done a lot of racing on this track in the past. Do you think 1-stop or 2-stop around Mexico City?
Well, my races end up being about an 8-stop, so I don't think that's a desired strategy. Plenty of wing changes required. The pit mechanics do get very annoyed with me, and that's why I don't do league racing. But yes, I do think Amir does have the prime place to be. Yes, he's got to contend with the slipstream and the drag race into turn 1. If he can keep it clean, though, he clearly has the pace on the other drivers. But potentially, this could be the issue here. Is that setup set purely for qualifying rather than the race? How damaging is that setup going to be on those Pirelli tyres? Of course, those who started in the top 10 will start on the tyres they qualified on, which was all the Pirelli soft tyre. But those outside, especially that P11 slot, could be in for a very strong race if they choose to start on a differing tyre. And of course, the drivers will put a bit of wear on these tyres as well. So plenty of options available for the final round here at Invictus Racing League. And what a place to end it, in Mexico, a nation that just loves motorsport. And in this area that we have such an impressive stadium as well, and a very nice track that promotes good overtaking opportunities. Maybe not in real life due to, well, the air density, but in the game provides thrilling racing, and if there's anything this season has been about, Fozzy, it's always been about providing thrilling racing, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Thrilling racing and surprises and expecting the unexpected is how I would sum up this season of PC F1. Season 13 has been a phenomenal season, and in just a few moments' time we will get underway for the final time this season, sponsored by GT Omega and in partnership with gridfinder.com and Driver61 as always. Now, looking at the weather here, it looks to be how it was during qualifying, so it shouldn't throw up any major surprises to the drivers. They've already had about 20 minutes of run time in these temperatures, so track temperatures and everything should be what they're used to. I know a lot of drivers have done practice as well in the days running up to this race, so they'll all be experienced and they'll know exactly what to do when approaching this race. So key areas to look out for in this race, obviously for that run down towards turn 1, not just on lap 1 where we might see a move, but throughout the race as well. Like I say, it's a massive run down towards turn 1, as it is down towards turn 4 as well. You got DRS to help you there, and DRS helping you out of turn 11, which is out of the S's as well, so plenty of opportunity to overtake in this race. If you're feeling opportunistic, you might make a move in the stadium as well around turn 13, halfway through sector 3. The good thing about Mexico is there are so many opportunities to overtake, and well, we know what these drivers are like. It's the last race of the season, they've got nothing to lose. They're going to be going elbows out over the next 36 laps.
Kangakon's been prepared to do some impressive drives in his career within Invictus Racing League, but if he manages to take a podium or even a top 5 finish, this could top all those drives. The constructors battle has come down to the final race. There is your predicted pit stop strategy powered by AWS. Lap 10 to 13 the first stop, and then the next stop a couple laps later, about lap 20. So it's going to be interesting to see how high or how long those soft tyres last on for. Here is your tyres then. So all the top 10 starting on the soft tyres as prescribed. But then those outside all starting on the medium tyre. Liam Markham starts 11th. 12th is Bashi. 13th Adam. Kangakon 14th. So will tyre strategy choose the winner this season for this race and potentially the constructors, Fozzy?
Well, strategy is going to be a big part of this race. I'm expecting it to be one of the biggest parts of this race as well. I don't think we're having too much rain. And we've only got 14 drivers on the grid as well. So 6 not with us. It's not a full grid. Less cars. Theoretically, there's less chance of crashing into each other. Less chance of safety car and virtual safety cars. But we know how high the speeds can be around here. Anything is possible. I've said it every race, and I'll say it for the final one as well. But the car's lining up onto the grid. Cameron, for the final time, I'm going to hand it over to you. Take us round the first few corners of what has been a thoroughly enjoyable season.
Thank you very much, Fozzy. It's been a pleasure to commentate with you each week, basically, for the last 15 weeks. It's been a long season, but we've enjoyed every second of it. And let's enjoy this last race. One more time we go in season 13. Here we go then. 14 rounds complete. 1 round remains. 36 laps left for season 13. And we are underway for the final round. Our most recent race winner gets a good getaway. RSD already suffering much. A brilliant launch from the Alpine driver. Can he chase down Amir into turn 1? Is going to be ever so close. Jeremy Clarkson making a move on Jasper. And look at the Alpine looking to dive down the inside. But there goes RSD on the inside of Edu. Mert managing to maintain a 3/10 gap to Amir, but Amir survives turn 1. How much longer will he survive? Edu gaining in the temps right on the rear wing of RSD. He currently sits 4th. Will he go up into the podium positions? And look at the pressure up front. Mert, last time season winner, is now on the inside as we go into turn 5 and 6, and he takes the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix as we head into the tricky, difficult, technical S's section. It's an Alpine that leads. It's a season 12 champion. Experience taking the reins here, but our most recent race winner, the Daring Dane, will not want this win to get away from him this early on, Fozzy. But 2 tenths, and here comes Amir. Is he going to make the move? No, he doesn't. He backs out. What a impressive opening lap from Mert, Fozzy.
Very impressive opening lap. Both McLarens had to defend with all their might in towards turn 1. Everyone was trying to have a go at them. You mentioned Jeremy Clarkson looking to make that move. Wasn't able to make it come off very well. Bashi had a bit of a moment sorry, during that first lap, and he's lost a couple of positions. But Merckx up 2 places. It's a dream start for him. But that 2 might become 1 because it looks like Amir is going to be going side by side. RSD's got a great view of it. Amir has already got past, but Merckx, who's going to brake later? Let's have a look. Merckx brakes a little bit later. Forces Amir a little bit wide. Amir comes back for more. Merckx still in the lead at the moment. Is Amir going to be able to make it cut back? No, he's not.
And RSD gaining massively whilst Merckx and Amir bicker between themselves. Look at them again. They're looking to go side by side once more. It's like a repeat of lap 1. Merckx on the inside, Amir on the outside. Amir being shown the wide lane, and Amir takes the lead though. Merckx once again on the inside. RSD ever so close to the back of that Alpine. He's basically in the rear wing, and he's in the box seat for potentially taking the race lead come the DRS zone. We're on lap 2. Lap 3 is when DRS is enabled. It won't be till later on the lap that will take effect, but look at the dirty air, Fozzy. XL Merckx already back by 6 tenths. 4 tenths separate the McLaren driver and the Alpine. Meanwhile, let's have a look at the Williams situation. Tide is currently in P6, 2 positions up from where he started. Kangikon only in 13th, only 1 position further from where he began the grid, and that was last. Now we head on to the main straight, the long straight here, and this is where Slipstream is ever so important. Amir setting the impressive lap time of 1:18.141. And DRS is enabled. There is your confirmation from race control. 8 tenths separate the top 2, and RSE also not gaining that much. All cars looking to not burn the energy and maybe trying to get away from the chasing pack, Fozzy.
It's mediums versus softs for Liam Markham and Marcus towards the back of the grid. There we go, side by side down that pit straight. Liam Markham manages to hold off Marcus and remain in a P11 in which he starts in, but Marcus is going to come back for more. Will he be able to get down in towards turn 4? He looks to the inside line. The soft tyres will give him a slight grip advantage. Liam Markham's not going to go down without a fight though. That outside becomes the inside through the tight, narrow turn of turn 5, and Liam Markham does hold on to that lead.
And there's contact between Kangikon and Marcus. Kangikon tried it down the inside of turn 6, was unable to get the move done on Marcus. Marcus closed the door. There wasn't enough room for 2 of them. Slight contact, luckily no damage, but Kangikon on the medium tyre unable to make much progress, and this is the crucial stage where he needs to be closing up to the leaders of this race. Currently over a couple seconds separate him and any form will getting closer to the points, and he's going to have to face an uphill battle so far. Lap 3 of 36 though. This is where we'll see the first bout of DRS, and Merckx is over a second behind Amir, and RSD equally so behind Merckx. So we're seeing a bit of a splitting out from the top 4. It's going to be Jasper who's going to be applying a little bit of pressure on Edu. Edu currently P4. He's won a couple races here and he could win today as well, but Jasper down in P5.
Liam Markham had a terrible final corner exit. He's about to lose 3 positions in the space of 1 straight unless his teammate doesn't fight it too much. Jeremy Clarkson gets a 3-second time penalty. Liam Markham gets all out of shape in turn 1. Lost 3 positions in that section there. He was in P11, now finds himself along with his teammate right at the back of the grid. It's P13 and 14 for the Alpha Tauris.
Amir gets a 3-second time penalty. The race leader already in trouble with the stewards. 3 seconds, that'll be the track limits, and that is not what you want when you're leading the race and you already are coming under pressure from Merckx once more. Kangikon needs to start showing some aggression if he wants to progress. The Frenchman is our drivers' championship, but he might lose out on the constructors. McLaren currently sitting 3rd and 5th, and there is a second between Amir and Merckx. It's going to be close as to whether they get DRS through the DRS detection zone. It looks like Merckx will miss out, but he will close up utilising the slipstream. And remember, that 3-second time penalty, you can't serve that in the pit lane. That will be with him to the end of the race, Fozzy.
Yeah, and it'll be on his mind as well. The only hope he has is that Merckx or RSD do get a bit of a penalty as well. What's this going on? Looks like Jasper just gets past Edu. Flying speed, lightning from the McLaren. I think Merckx is going to think he's in a bit... Oh no, and Edu gets all out of shape. Did he have contact there? Did he somehow lock up? But he has to go onto the grass. Did he gain an advantage there? Well,
yes,
that's what race control think. A 5-second time penalty there. It looked like the rear's locked. He just lost the rear end. Lucky not to spin around. But as I was saying, do you think Merckx is going to be trying to fend off those McLarens to maybe help the Williams driver somehow, or is he just going to let those McLarens go on by? Because at the moment, the McLarens are in a great position when it comes to the constructors. The Williams at the moment down in P12 and P6, so it's not looking great for them at the moment. A miracle might need to happen should they want to gain some more points, but McLaren's at the moment P and 4. That is a very strong position to be in.
Indeed, so 18 points is currently what McLaren have. Tyne sitting in P6 currently has 5 points, so that is a 13-point difference between them. That won't be enough for them to take the title, but that will put the pressure on. If RSC and Jasper start progressing further up the grid, they need a 1-2 plus a fastest lap to kind of help themselves even more in this championship battle. A battle that now suddenly Excel Cancon is out of, seemingly. If he's going to score points, it's going to be the low points this early on, but bear in mind, we are yet to have a safety car, and Tyne is looking to make a move on the likes of Edu. Edu got out of shape this sort of corner last time round, seems to be all under control, no more penalties required, but that is a better run for Tyne. He will have the DRS, so will Edu, and Tyne is deploying ERS, and look at the straight line speed of the Williams, actually closely matched in the braking zone. Doesn't give much room for the Haas. Using this overhead aerial shot, we get a brilliant view of that battle, and Tyne sets a purple sector 1 and moves up to P5. Now he can start applying the pressure on those McLarens. McLaren might have thought they were going to have it easy, seeing where Kagakon qualified, but oh no, Tyne is on the scene, a second away from Jasper. Things are about to get spicy, Fozzy.
They are. Edu will be in a bit of trouble because you've got Cass right behind him as well. Will he be about to lose just another position? I think he might when the DRS comes, but we know we can get a bit of a DRS train here. Sorry. So let's see what happens down towards turn 1. Edu, though, he's had a pretty good race so far. He's lost a position, but compared to some other drivers, Jeremy Clarkson's lost 2. Liam Markham, we saw, had that moment earlier, lost 3. He's going good so far, and he's staying in the slipstream of the Williams driver to try and see if he can make a move into turn 1. It looks like he's got the speed. He's got a little bit of deployment as well, and he makes that move. Got about 100 or so meters before the braking zone.
Look at the inside. The Alpine driver, Cass, looking to also capitalise on Edu's overtake there. Just misses out, but alongside into the braking zone. That was close. A decision was made there in order to ensure there was no damage caused to either car. But here we go again, down the inside into turn 4, locks up on the brakes, goes deep, provides an opportunity for the Williams driver to go alongside onto the outside of the track. Does the Williams driver go? And the Alpine is still ahead of the Williams, but maybe not for long. Through the S's session though, the Cass maintains track position, and Tyne gets a swapper on there, lucky to keep the Williams going in the direction it's meant to be going. But never mind, he continues on. He lives to fight another day, and I tell you what, Emir is forging a gap now. 1.6 seconds separate him and Mert, but bear in mind he still has that 3-second penalty, so it's going to come down to a bit more than straight up pace seemingly this evening. But 2/10, 4/10 now separate Jeremy Clarkson and Tyne, and this could be a battle using DRS. Adam gets a 3-second time penalty, the F2 championship winner from season 12, a driver that we commentated on his campaign. He visits the stewards today and isn't going particularly too well for him, but he's up 3 positions where he started, so that is commendable. Here we go, then Jeremy Clarkson on Tyne could also be commendable. Down the inside on the brakes does go Jeremy Clarkson. Tyne going around the inside, then becomes the outside, then becomes the inside, and there is contact between the two drivers. They're playing a game of Twister rather than Formula 1 today, and Jasper overtakes RSD for the McLaren duo at the top. Will that allow them to chase on to the likes of Mert and Amir, or is it too little too late this early on, Fozzy?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's all kicking off here in the final race. I told you that everyone's going to be getting their elbows out. No one's got too much to lose unless you're a McLaren or a Williams driver. Jeremy Clarkson will be trying to stay with that Williams driver in front of him. There's penalties up and down the field. We see Cass getting one there. And I think RSD was the one who just got one just a moment ago as well. So track limits really showing that they are quite strong, as Edu demonstrates by getting another penalty. There in P5 at the moment. It's tight at the moment. I wonder what these McLarens are going to do though. One of them's coming into the pits. That's Jasper coming in, getting rid of those soft tyres. Yeah, I say one thing and they do the other. So yeah, I was going to say, are they going to be playing into the hands of each other? But we see a lot of drivers coming into the pits now. Jeremy Clarkson, Cass, and all sorts of drivers coming into the pits. Let's see what tyres they all go on to, and I think it's going to be the mediums for most of them. Edu serving a penalty in the pit lane. He's obviously racked up enough seconds to be able to do so. And I think for all of those drivers, it is the medium tyres.
Indeed, the medium tyres for all those who are pitted is what we'd expect. Could be a long one stop or could be a strategic two stop to go on to the softer tyre later on once more. Bashi though closing in on Marcus, the flying Finn, but Marcus still leads Bashi at this time. We saw the AlphaTauris were getting in a bit of trouble in qualifying and they seem to not be progressing massively through the field just yet, but time will tell. Kangaskhan in 7th place. Bear in mind we had a couple drivers boxed still on the medium tyres. He can go longer than the drivers ahead of him who are on the soft. We expect the next drivers to go into the pits as Bashi will be visiting the stewards once more. 3-second time penalty. Let's give you an update on the penalty situation. All drivers that have a penalty do only have 3 seconds. Those who had more than that would have served their 5 seconds in the pit stop, and that is ever so crucial to serve it, mainly in the race. Tyne goes into the pit, so does Daigoro, and we expect the other soft runners to join him. Amir though crucially stays out, and so does Mert. I'm surprised, Fozzy, that Mert hasn't tried an undercut here. He is still within that window of an undercut around the 2 to 3 second mark, but it looks like there is no move here in this 4D game of chess.
4D game of chess is a very good way of explaining it. Yes, I would have expected some form of undercut to happen. But will we see any of those top 2 drivers come into the pits at the end of this lap? We're on lap 10 of the season finale of Season 13, the IRL PC F1 League, sponsored by GT Mega and in partnership with gridfinds.com and Driver 61, where we have a commanding lead from Amir at the moment. He's got the Alpine driver of Merckx following him, but we wait to see who pulls the trigger first and comes into the pits.
Indeed. Will it be Amir? Will it be Mert? Or will they both come into the pits at the same time? As we see the Red Bull driver round the final corner. He looks to stay out once more. What will Mert do? Will he go in? Yes, he does. Trying to go for the undercut. Box opposite to what Amir does. And RSC gets a 3-second time penalty.
Who was that? Big crash for Daigoro. Big incident for Daigoro in the Ferrari there. Has he got any damage? Not that I can see, but he was going around at some high speed in the S's section there as I was just flicking through the onboards of some of the drivers. It looks to be all okay. It doesn't look like there's too much damage there. We'll see what happens to him if he comes into the pit lane at the end of this lap. But that was a big incident for Daigoro. Lucky to keep all 4 tyres on that car.
And Jasper overtaking Liam Markham down the pit straight. Liam Markham looking to slip back into the slipstream. He could get overtaken by not just one papaya car, but the other 2 as McLarens look to progress through the field once more. There goes RSD ahead of Liam Markham. Will Liam Markham have any form of defence to fight back against these McLarens? It seems that the answer is no, and it is Jasper and RSD who carry on the medium tyre. That tyre is a fresh tyre for Jasper, sorry, for RSD. And yeah, both fresh tyres for the McLarens. Liam still on old 10-lap old tyres. Those drivers who haven't boxed yet are Liam Markham, Amir on 10-lap old softs, Adam on 10-lap old mediums, so is Kangaskhan, and so is Bashi. So those drivers are the ones you want to keep an eye out for where they funnel out in the pits. There's one going in now. It is the race leader, the Daring Dane, going onto the medium tyres. He won last time out. Will he win again? It's a long way to go just yet. Not even halfway of this 36-lap race to decide not only the race winner but the constructors champion. Kangaskhan looking to gain on Adam, Fozzy.
Exactly, yeah. Kangaskhan, Adam got all out of shape coming out of the final corner there. I don't know if you saw. I think Kangaskhan might just be a little bit too far back to take the temporary race lead, unless he tries to make a dive round the outside. I think he thinks better of it and holds back. But you got another DRS session coming up right down in towards turn 4. But I think this time again, he's a little bit too far to make anything come to fruition. So we'll have to keep watching that battle at the moment. But both of those drivers yet to pit. Amir and Bashi, well, going about their overtaking duties as well. It's Amir up to P3 at the moment. Bashi behind him in P4.
Indeed, Daigoro with that incident earlier, 34 seconds away from the nearest car up here. Well, I believe he boxed again to change a wing potentially there after that incident earlier on. A shame for him because he already boxed literally that lap. That might have even been his out lap. So that is unfortunate for him, but that is the brutality of motorsport, whether virtual or real life. Now, we have Amir behind Kangaskhan. Let's see how this goes. Kangaskhan is yet to box Adam is holding up Cancom massively here, and Amir is looking to get a move on. There's almost contact between the Red Bull driver and the Williams driver. Amir is getting very angry and very frustrated being stuck behind. He wants to be stuck behind no more, and he looks to activate DRS. Adam bound to be overtaken. He's going to go 3 wide here on lap 13, and it is the Red Bull ahead of the Mercedes, and the Williams just about ahead of the Red Bull, or will he be at the end of this chicane? The Red Bull takes the inside, that becomes the outside once more. Who will have DRS? It's detected from the previous zone. It'll be the both Williams and the Red Bull, plus the other cars behind them. Adam misses out, unfortunately. Kangaskhan therefore backs out from that battle with Amir. He realises he hasn't boxed yet and does not want to be wasting time on these 12-lap old mediums for this strategy to work, Fozzy.
This is a great little battle. This is what we love to see. That was amazing through the first few corners there. Great driving. It's what we've seen all season. And I'm surprised that we haven't seen more moments like that. It's moments like that where I just sit back and think I'm watching my TV myself and listen to you commentate. I sit back and go, wow, this is awesome. But I don't think it's over yet. There'll be another little bit going on in just a few corners time as you get towards the end of the DRS straight. Merck has got past Bashi for P4 as well, and both McLarens, as you say, are fighting their way through the field slowly to try and make up a position. Jeremy Clarkson all the way up to Liam Markham have been fighting as well. Liam Markham looks like he might be a bit of a sitting duck here as well as you go down this main straight. Let's see. Oh, Tane very nearly just lost it there, as we've seen a few drivers do throughout the qualifying session. Tane does have a bit of DRS, I believe, but he's not deploying too much, so he's just hoping that the DRS will help him get past. We see the McLarens overtaking each other as well. Liam Markham pulls to the inside, unable to do too much, though. Tane looks to go down the outside, and in comes Jeremy Clarkson. That's contact. Round goes Jeremy Clarkson. It's not the first time we've seen a Mercedes spin out of that corner in this track, but that looked opportunistic from Jeremy Clarkson, trying to go down the middle of both of those two drivers in towards turn 1. It was bold, it was brave, but it didn't quite turn out the way he would have wanted, Cameron.
Indeed, that has been calamitous for Mercedes. Interestingly so, Fozzy, Merck through the pit stop phase has not gained on Amir. Now it's 4.8 seconds between him and the race lead. That is an almighty gap in order to claw back. Yes, there is that 3-second penalty, but will he be able to overcome that gap? Bear in mind, we do believe it could be on the verge of a 2-stop to a 1-stop here, so we're not too sure whether the drivers will box again or whether that is them to the end. Either way, Merck has a lot of time to make up. He's hemorrhaging lap time here because of being stuck behind Adam, who is on the old medium tyres, and Adam is defending massively so throughout the rest of the circuit. RSD and Jasper move up to P5 and P6. There's a yellow flag set to 3. That appears to be a car that has gone round there, Fozzy. I'm not too sure. It appears to be sorted out now, but there's a tricky little yellow flag that appears to have gotten the way. But meanwhile, Mert is now ahead of Adam, and it's time for him to claw back that time delta to Amir. He's got to get at least within 3 seconds of Amir, but like all drivers, and especially all champions, they want to win not only via the time delta due to a penalty, but also via racing them wheel to wheel on track. This is a sport full of egos, and they love to race with each other. The amount of respect shown, and why am I? We're hopefully going to be in for an almighty battle. Who's winning the penalty game? Well, RSD has currently 6 seconds of penalties, so he has almost more than everyone else. Jasper now has a penalty too. So both McLaren drivers with well, a collective amount of 9 seconds penalties. So it's not really the award you want, Fozzy, but I guess it's the wrong kind of points too.
Well, you get a point for fastest lap, and that might be what Bashi and Liam Markham are trying to do. They both box at the same time for the soft tyres. You won't get a point if you're outside of the top 10, which is where we've seen these two drivers regularly throughout this race day. But both of them boxing for the soft tyres, as I say. Will they get to the end, though? It's quite a long way to go. We're not even halfway through the race yet. Anyway, Kangaskhan has come into the pits on those medium tyres. What's he going to go for? He's going to go for the soft tyres as well, as Bashi gets a 3-second time penalty. And Edu is gaining on the Williams driver in front of him, who pulls through the inside. Edu goes, thank you very much, I'll just take the left-hand lane. Will the Williams driver fight it anymore? No. He gives up that position. Edu up to 7th place.
RSD chasing down the rear wing of Adam. Again, it's a difference of tyres. Adam is struggling on those old mediums, especially such a competitive field. There's contact between the McLaren driver. McLaren need to play it safe. They want any chance of winning the Constructors. That's not how you do it, but that is how you get past a slow Mercedes. RSD up into the podium position on lap 16 of 36. Jasper still behind Adam, and he'll be looking to make a move in this DRS zone here before the stadium section. Will he go down the inside, or will he hang it safe for the back straight of this race here on lap 16 as we head towards lap 17 as Amir crosses the line to begin said lap, and Excel Kangakom gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That could prove ever so crucial once again in the Constructors, but here comes DRS, and shortly here comes Jasper with a sting in his tail. He goes alongside the Mercedes. He's fully alongside and will look to be ahead into the braking zone. Will Adam look to hang it on around the outside and take the advantageous line? No, he doesn't. He backs out and lets the McLaren through, and he continues on his way on very old mediums. How long will he go on these yellow walled Pirelli tyres before they simply burst on him? You can see the effects of the tyre wear, their texture change, and there is another lockup. That certainly won't help Fozzy.
Jeremy Clarkson has a 3-second time penalty and just about saves a slide. He's been fighting with Marcus as you've been watching the other Mercedes get involved in some battles as well. Edu is still fighting Tane, the Williams driver, as well. Adam has just got a 3-second time penalty. So everybody in the top 10 apart from Marcus and Merck with 2 M's with a time penalty. I haven't exactly got it on my screen as to how much of a penalty, but a penalty nonetheless. That's not going to be advantageous when it comes to the race result for them.
Indeed, you don't want to be racking up penalties, and it's even more important if you don't have a penalty, when everyone around you does, that you keep it clean, keep it on track at all times, and you can gain massively, especially with the likes of Marcus. You start closing up on that pack, you're going to gain a handful of positions, hopefully by the end of the race when the checkered flag falls. But also bear in mind, any penalties for contact, etc. can be reviewed by the stewards, and we're yet to have a safety car, Fozzy. And I'll tell you what, we see some close calls so far in this race. Do you reckon we're going to get one, or do you think to round out the final race it'll be clean, no intervention of Burt Maylander?
Well, everybody wants it to be clean, but we've seen some moves that I don't think we would have seen if this wasn't the final race of the season. So people are wanting to race, and look at this, Kankin and Clarkson are going to be racing behind Marcus as well. This is almost going to go 3 wide in towards turn 4. Who's going to come out on top? Well, Clarkson's looking to make that move on Marcus. There is contact, not enough to send anybody round, but you got to be careful. You don't want to be getting too many more penalties. You most certainly don't want to be getting any punctures as well. Meanwhile, I ride on board with Kangakan, who's got a prime view of this battle unfolding in front of him. Is he going to be able to make a move past any of these 2 drivers? We'll hopefully be thinking, well, wouldn't it be great if them 2 had a bit of a moment? I could get 2 positions for the price of 1 here. He's got an amazing drive out of that, and he should be, if he has got a little bit of energy, able to get past on the inside, down Jamie Clarkson. He does so. Car 1 done. Car 2, Marcus. Is he going to use the DRS on the main straight to get past him? I have a feeling that he might do. He's got about, 50% energy stored in his battery. So will he be using some of that to get past Marcus? Well, it doesn't look like he is at the moment, but he will have DRS, and he's got a lot of slipstream as well. We know it's long run. He's going to turn to the inside. Does that allow him to get past the Alfa Romeo driver? Yes, it does.
Indeed, there goes Kangakan up into 9th place. As it stands at the moment, I've done the maths. Yes, I have an A-level in maths. I still don't back myself in order to do it properly, but I believe the permutations that we have been given for this race mean that at the moment, Williams will take the Constructors' title. There is about 12 points still that need to be settled,
got a penalty.
And there goes Merck getting a penalty as well. So it's now the entirety of the top 10 except for Marcus who have a penalty. Now we like seeing the black and white flag, obviously, this race indeed, and I wonder if we'll get to the point where all drivers have a penalty. Wouldn't that be lovely, all in unison with each other? And there goes Marcus getting a penalty as well. So that's all the top 10, well, now the top 12 as well. So that's that settled with just 2 more drivers. laps. Come on, Liam. Come on, Daigoro. Just go across the line
Liam,
a couple of
Daigoro,
times.
go wide for us and make
you know,
take the skirts.
yeah, flat round here and all that malarkey. Anyway, so Jasper and RSD up into P3 and P4 as Jeremy Clarkson also visits the stewards, and Cass and Adam are also fighting, and Jeremy Clarkson has retired on the final corner. We're going to ride on board with Liam Markham, and we will hopefully see the damage that has been caused as Jeremy Clarkson's Merc lies strucken around the final corner. Liam Markham going a very snail's pace, working out what to do. There is the McLaren just there. Wow, just right on the racing line, and Liam into the pit at a very slow rate of knots. What will the rest of the team, what will the rest of the grid do? Fozzy, we were literally talking about safety cars not that long ago, basically a lap ago, and it's happened. So we've got a bit of drama and something that will surely throw in a little spice. Mexico, you know, all spicy food, etc. We're getting that now. We're getting our full flavour race here today. What will Amir do? He's on the medium tyres. XL Mert on the mediums too. Kankon, I believe he went on to the fresh set of softs. He did. Will he now choose to take the pit stop, which would be the sensible idea, and go on to a new set of mediums? He starts on mediums, so he could do that indeed. But in comes Amir. Now this is time to watch out what tyres everyone goes to. The pit lane is about to get rowdy. It's about to get busy. Who will prioritise track position, or who will just take the free stop? Amir takes a free stop onto the mediums. Mert, wow, almost crashes with Amir on the pit exit there. It's a new fresh set of soft tyres for Mert, going different. Same for RSD. They think they can make it to the end. Clearly it's a double stack for McLaren, and Jasper also onto the soft tyres. He's serving a penalty or something there, but he does lose out slightly, but not massively overall to the other cars around him. In fact, doesn't lose out at all. Cass also on the softs. Fozzy, it looks like is going the way of the soft tyre. Tyne also in. The Williams driver switches onto the soft tyres. This is a dream for the likes of Williams. They stand a chance now to get some decent points on the race start. The only drivers to continue on are the likes of Daigora, I believe, hasn't boxed, or maybe he has. He might have boxed indeed. I'm not too sure, but Liam definitely did box when the safety car came out. And it's Amir in the top 10, the only driver on mediums bar Marcus, and that could get very interesting. The likes of the air cars behind him, Fozzy, will surely have a better amount of grip when the safety car comes in.
Yeah, we got quite a lot to do. Quite a few laps left at the moment. It leaves Amir with quite a lot of work to do as well on those medium tyres. He knows that everybody behind him, well, he might not know that everybody behind him has got soft tyres, but if he's looking in his mirrors and looking behind, he'll most certainly see that Merckx and RSD at minimum are on the soft tyres, and everybody behind them all the way up to Marcus in P9. So I reckon we'll get a couple of laps of safety car action, and we can already see Amir weaving to try and get temperature into those tyres. He's keen to get on with things, isn't he? He's a keen little racer this evening. As we go past the podium. It's a very unique podium here, Cameron, isn't it? You've got the way that the car rises up from beneath the stands, and you got all those fans there who are watching, and it's a podium that we don't really see at any other track, and it's one of my favourite podiums, I think. I don't know about you. I don't know if you have a favourite podium. If you're watching on the broadcast, let us know if you've got a favourite podium.
And my favourite podium has to be Monza, especially when you have full crowd capacity. There's no rising up, but you do feel the rising up of the crowd, especially if a Ferrari takes the win. You've got the Tifosi, one of the most passionate group of fans, always supporting obviously the Ferrari team, and it's just brilliant. You see the scenes of Monza, full crowd, back in the days before a pandemic, and it's just lovely scenes to watch. But Mexico definitely is unique in that aspect. I believe we will have another lap of safety car. Daigoro is currently 42 seconds off Liam, which is about 52 seconds off the pack. And so for those on soft tyres then, Fozzy, it's going to be about 13-14 laps potentially on that soft tyre. They do about 9 to 10 on the race start. Bear in mind that's with high fuel. Do you think Amir's done the right thing here to be able to push that tyre harder than those on the soft, who will have to ensure they keep their tyres? And Daigoro into the pitch once again. He was on soft tyres. He's going in again. Is this going to be for a fresh set of mediums? He's also having the same debate. No, it's a fresh set of softs. Again, not too sure what's going on there, ladies and gentlemen. But Fozzy, answer my question because I can't remember why I asked you. So we'll go.
I can't remember what the question was. Can you repeat it, please?
Yes. Do you think Amir has gone for the right option by going on mediums? Bearing in mind he won't have to save his tyres, especially near the end of the race, and can push them, whereas those
in this lap
have to. And never mind. Don't bother answer that question, Fozzy. Safety car in this lap. Take us away.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to see. Sorry, really, that did catch me off guard. I wasn't ready for that. Anyway, safety car is in, and it is Amir who's controlling this safety car restart, and he has got murked right up behind him. He's looked to have got a pretty good start, but as we saw at the start of this race, it is a super long run down towards turn 1. It leaves Amir vulnerable with the slipstream, and with those more grippy tyres with Merck has, he'll look to try and make a move round the outside. That's what he does. Does he make it work? Well, the outside does become the inside. Amir's not going to go without a fight. Now it's contact into Amir as Bashi gets a penalty. Sorry, Cameron. And Amir loses quite a few positions. We have a yellow flag from Daigoro, who was retired from the session. I'm not sure if that was a crash from him, but Amir's lost so many positions already. That's Adam trying to go around the outside of Amir as well. It's gone from bad to worse, and even worse for Amir if he loses his position to Adam, Cameron.
Indeed, but this could be the dream for McLaren ahead of them. They currently sit P2 and P3. They're going to have to wish for a sort of a miracle, as Christian Horner would put it, as Cass gets a 3-second time penalty, as both Williams are in the points, and that makes it ever so difficult for them, if not impossible, to win the Constructors. But with 13 laps to go, soon to be 12, it's still all to play for. Daigoro looks to have spun it on the second DRS zone, just outside of the S's section, so not too sure what happened there. He is out and joins Jeremy Clarkson in the DNF group, as Amir though goes alongside Adam on the inside. The Mercedes fearing no match for the Red Bull here in Mexico, as it's still Amir that leads into the braking zone. Adam backs out of that, does not want to fight Amir, as Adam therefore then gets a 3-second time penalty for his efforts there. And will Amir now be able to catch up to the likes of Jasper and RSD? Bear in mind, Merckx, before the safety car, was struggling to keep a 3-second gap, was about 4.5 seconds away from Amir. It's all suddenly changed come the restart of this race. A purple sector for Amir. He needs to keep driving like that in order to stand a chance of winning this race against the Season 12 PC F1 champion. How's our Season 13 PC F1 champion doing? He's currently 3 tenths behind Edu and sits in 9th place, scoring points for the team he desires to win the Constructors. Edu goes wide. That'll be a warning, but not a penalty this time around. Kangakon, though, with the points that Tyne is getting as well, doesn't have to push through as much as he needed to at the start of the race, as it still will be Williams who will win the Constructors title here for Season 13 PCF1. DRS is enabled. It's time for this race to get manic once more, as cars all rush to gain position from each other, all fighting for DRS come the DRS zone later in this lap. Bear in mind, as we say time and time again, DRS zone 1 and 2 are all linked via the same detection point, so it's ever so crucial out of that final corner or just before it in order to be within a second of the driver ahead of you. But we will soon see the action of the DRS, and here comes Tyne, less than 2 tenths behind Adam. He looks down the inside, soft versus soft, Williams versus Mercedes. Who's going to come out on top? The Williams driver forces the Mercedes driver deep. It's a lovely switchback from the Williams driver heading in to turn 6, and it's Williams, the number 8, ahead of the car that is currently in 6th place. Adam, the PC F2 champion, tripping over my words, but they're not tripping over each other, and that's what we love to see here in PC F1 and Season 13. 1.6 seconds between Tyne and Amir. There is a yellow flag, Fozzy.
It's Bashi. Yeah, Bashi has had a moment. The AlphaTauri driver causes the second safety car of this race, and the strategy which people had in their head for the remaining 10 laps goes out the window, and knock for someone out of it all. It's another new strategy man to deliver a strategy which is different to what they had, and that was the analogy that I'm going to miss delivering. Cameron found that quite funny. I'm just watching him try to take a drink after that That great commentary he just delivered, and I come in with a joke that was suboptimal and probably not needed for PC F1.
I'm gonna miss this. Oh dear. I'll tell you what, your jokes make I mean, the racing also helps too, but you know, your humour in and out most weeks of the commentary box is simply sublime, clinical, as a team principal would say there. Fozzy, you know, we're all tripping over each other's words. I'm trying to drink, almost spitting water everywhere, soon beyond into tyres in my case, but we are nevertheless under safety car period for lap 26 of 36 of Invictus Racing League PC F1 Season 13, the season finale in Mexico, brought to you in partnership with Grid Finder, GT Omega and Driver 61. Check out our partners below for supporting us in this insane season that we've all had the pleasure of witnessing most weeks, 15 weeks. With a little break in the middle, but the drivers had no break there. They had to rerun Canada. We went on holiday for a week. They didn't. And that shows the dedication to this league. And if you are willing to put in half as much dedication as these drivers do week in, week out, then do look at how you can join Invictus Racing League. It's a brilliant community to be a part of. And Fozzy and I have truly enjoyed our warm welcome throughout our time here in Invictus Racing League. Isn't that right, Fozzy?
Absolutely, yeah, it's been stellar being here, but we're not over yet. We've got 10 more laps to go. Admittedly, some of them are going to be a safety car. Now, I don't know if you've seen anyone coming into the pits, Cameron. I haven't seen anyone from what I've been watching in the moment, although Cass decides that pit lane looks a little bit empty. I'll take a little bit of that. And what's he going to be taking when he arrives at the tuck shop? It's going to be a wing change, and it's going to be onto the soft tyres as well. So fresh softs should allow him to make up a few positions on the safety car restart.
We saw earlier with Daigoro, though, he boxed once again and was left behind by the safety car restart. He decided to make his own drama by DNFing, unfortunately for him. So this could be the case here for Cass if he doesn't catch up to the pack. 20 seconds, that is half as much time that Daigoro had to catch up. So hopefully he'll be able to do so. It'd be a shame to see the Alpine driver left behind. Has made that gamble though, had the wing damage. Thought, well, that's enough of that. We're going to box, take a fresh wing, fresh softs, have the most fresh tyres of the pack. Bear in mind, Amir's on the mediums, and we saw him get swamped, didn't we, on the race start, and now the tyres might be coming more his way, Fozzy.
Yes, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. The McLarens, though, are in a very strong position, and we've said it quite a few times over the oh dear, Cameron's just going to have another drink and it's gone everywhere again. Oh, it's not going well in the commentary booth tonight, but maybe we're getting on the Bucks Fizz a little bit too soon. We know Christmas is approaching, but we just can't can't wait.
We can't wait, but we can wait because safety car is in this lap. This will be hopefully the last, I don't know, 9-lap shootout of Invictus Racing League PC F1 Season 13. It's Mert who will lead us away on lap 27, which will soon become 28. When does he go? He goes now. Suffers retraction, but he still is ahead. 3 tenths between him and Mert. Who gets the better run into turn 1? Is it going to be Jasper, RSD, or Mert? Mert is trying to withstand the slipstream ability, but look at RSD closing, overtake on down the inside into turn 1. Does he make it work? Just about. Mert drops down to second, and it is a McLaren leading this race. Jasper also fighting with Mert, and now he's getting swamped by Amir, who moves himself up into 3rd place. Was that alongside, outside of track limits right now? He's dropped back slightly, almost 3 wide into the next corner. It's a tight right-hander to follow. This complex has provided multiple overtaking. Look at Jasper forcing the Red Bull wide, giving hardly any room. They bash once more, front left to front right tyre contact there. Amir gets a 3-second time penalty, moves up to P3 though, and now he's got 9 tenths to make up to Merckx and RSE, who sit ahead of him. It's a McLaren leading. They need more than that to win the constructors, but they're going to try to the dying end. Amir gets a 5-second penalty, corner cutting, and gains a position. That is 11 seconds in total for Amir, and that surely rules him out of winning this race, even potentially points, as RSD leads, and he has 6-second penalties. Mert only has 3 seconds. This could all be decided on whether the penalties are enough either way, Fozzy.
Yeah, do you think Amir will be on the blower saying that, well, Jasper forced me out wide and therefore he didn't want to give the place back. He didn't feel he deserved to give the place back. Meanwhile, Adam, Tyne, both gaining on the rear end of Jasper. Adam will be looking to make a move to try and get past the Williams. The Williams will be trying to defend it so that those McLarens do not get away with that Constructors title and that Constructors Championship. As we say, it could all be decided by penalties, but there's a lot of work for the McLarens to do. RSD is doing great under in P1 at the moment. Jasper will be looking to try and make up a few more positions to maybe try and join his teammate up there at the front of the grid. But in these laps that follow the safety car restart, we know how tight the pack can be, and I've got my eyes on all these drivers who are all looking for gaps that they can make their way into to try and make up just a few more positions. We have got about 6.5 laps to go. Edu, for about the 100th time this race, goes wide at turn 11. That would have been another warning. We might see a penalty for him coming this way as well. I'm running on board with Kankan, who's the driver behind Edu, and he'll be looking to try and get up a little bit higher than where he is at the moment. He's currently in P8, and that will gain him 3 points, which is great, and we have DRS enabled as well, so that, along with the energy which he's deploying, should allow him to make up a few positions. We know it's a very long run down. What's it looking like at the front? There's only a few tenths in it, Cameron.
Incredibly close indeed. It is Merch on the outside once more. The Red Bull driver of Emir still defined in defeat as he faces it so, but it's RSD ahead, and he continues to be ahead down the second DRS zone, forging a gap, getting out of the slipstream. What will Emir do? Will he look to make a move? He's tried to be daring. It hasn't worked for him. He's in trouble with the stewards. That might all be decided in post-race penalties and steward inquiries, but what can be decided is the position of the car on the track, and that's all down to driver ability and forging the gaps from your other cars ahead and behind. 6 tenths is the gap between RSD and Mert. As it stands at the moment, Mert will be victorious in winning this race. He has within the 3-second gap that requires him to be for RSD indeed. Markham will look to gain plenty of position here by the looks of it. He's yet to get a penalty, the only driver that is penalty free. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be difficult to work out who's going to win the Constructors. As it stands though, I still believe Kangakon and Tyne together score more than 11 points. In fact, I believe it may be to the likes of 12, if not 14 points. And here comes Amir once more down the inside now, getting the slipstream from RSD, and now he has to navigate that McLaren, who's making it ever so difficult, leaving just enough width. And there Amir goes, and
there goes round.
Contact with RSD. RSD plummets. The Constructors' hope plummets with him too, as Jasper is left to fight in P3. That could be an interesting decision from the stewards there. That will be going down definitely to the stewards room. Fozzy, what do you think?
Yeah, Liam, Markham and Cass managing to get past that Alpha Tauri driver, number 88 driver, who's been with us since the start and has had a very impressive maiden win in Australia. Cass has got a very loose end though on that Alpine, so Liam Markham will be thinking, oh yes, that might be something I might be able to get past again in his final closing laps of the race. Oh, and Kankan's got a lot of speed now behind the Haas driver. There's a bit of a DRS train going, but I think Edu has just got a little bit more energy that allows him to pull away from Kankan and manage to retain his P6 position as it stands at the moment. Meanwhile, we see Amir right up behind Merck. This might be a change for the lead, especially with DRSing energy, and it looks like that's going to be done in meters, hundreds of meters before the braking zone. But will Merck be able to come back and fight for more? Well, Amir's got that DRS, and looks like Adam and Edu are fighting as well. Tane and Jasper are pretty close as well. Tane gets past Tyne gets past Jasper. Jasper down into P4. Kankan going alongside Anna as well. It's all kicking off in the closing stages. We're on lap 32. And Cameron, there's so many things going on. I couldn't tell you who's going to win at the moment.
I tell you what, it's going to be ever so difficult. Emir has 11 seconds penalties. That's a difference of 8 seconds difference between him and Mert penalty-wise. Mert needs to be within that gap. He has 3. Tyne currently has 6-second penalties, which will see Jasper being promoted up to P3. Tyne currently sits on the podium position, but that might not matter. RSD does seem to be out of this race, especially especially for race winning contention, and therefore that could be the dust settling on the constructors' hopes for McLaren. It's been a tough season for them, but will they be able to scrape a win in the last dying laps of this race in Mexico? It's been a brilliant race, and what a grand finale we are witnessing for a grand season. Amir sets the pace, a 1:15.586 in the Red Bull Racing Honda. That Honda powered car might not take him to victory after the flag, but he'll certainly look to do so before the checkered flag falls. Currently P3. He's going to have to defend from Jasper. Jasper looks to possibly make a dive. He backs out. He's seen his previous teammate, or his current teammate, sort of suffer from a similar dive, and that he does not want to suffer the same fate. Edu up into P5, and Adam has 12 seconds of penalties. Who's made the most moves? Kangakon. He said it'll be a difficult drive from the back of the grid. He's currently up 8 positions and is in P6, and that will surely be enough points for Williams to satisfy their goal of achieving the Constructors' World Championship here. But no, it's not the final lap just yet, and is still plenty to go. Amir, though, leads by 2.2 seconds. He's going to need lightning pace to get anywhere near that 9-8 second gap that he requires. And Jasper, though, closing up to Tyne. It's Williams versus McLaren. It's been a battle of numbers. It could now be a battle on track between the Williams, two titanic brands within Formula 1 and motorsport racing in general. Who will come out on top in this wheel-to-wheel battle? Will it be Tyne or will it be Jasper with the helping hand of the drag reduction system? Both Mercedes-powered cars. Tyne darts to the right-hand side, close to the pit lane, does not want to give a hint of slipstream. Jasper thinks, well, I'm going to come for it anyway. Jasper looks to go down the inside. Edu's in the mix. It could be 3 wide. It isn't so just yet. Jasper moves into P3. Tyne loses not just 1 position, but almost 2. He does lose 2 positions as Edu gets the switchback, and Tyne, regains that position. It's now Tyne behind the Williams driver, but Tyne does not have DRS, remember. That detection zone falling to be an issue for him. But it's Kangon up into P5. It's Williams, P4 and 5, and there's contact between Williams and Haas. 2 teams that are used to racing with each other, although not in the points. Now they're in the dizzying heights of P4, 5 and 6, and Tyne, though, looks to gain on Jasper once more. 6 tenths, although he has a 6 second time penalty. That's 3 seconds more than Jasper. Will he give the position to Kangakon and allow Kangakon to fight for that position? Well, Kangakon's a little bit far back just yet, Fozzy.
It is. This midfield battle is turning out to be one of the best battles we've seen of the season, and they're running out of time. We've got about 6 miles of racing to go to decide which constructor is going to be champion. And at the moment, it's looking good for Williams. It's going to need a miracle for the McLaren to be able to take it. Tyne runs in P4. Kankian runs in P5. Behind them, Edu, Adam, and Cass. Not in that order because I've read it wrong, but it's looking close. And Amir's got a fairly comfortable lead up there at the moment. We said it was medium tyres. It might be quite an interesting race tyre. But look at Tasper and Tyne going for it throughout that first chicane. Looks like Tyne's going to be under a little bit of threat here because Jasper... Oh no, Tyne's got the DRS because Tyne was ahead of that detection zone all the way back at turn 15. So let's see who's going to take this. Who's that coming around the outside? That's Kangakoon. Yeah, it's the Williams down the inside. It's tight. We know it's been a titanic battle between these two, and they're not giving each other as much room as they'd want to. It's getting personal between the two, but it's Kankin up to P4, Jasper in P5.
Indeed, it's now Kangakon P4, Tyne P3. Bear in mind, Tyne has that penalty. RSD getting another penalty. He's out of this race completely. Jasper. And there is Amir, still 5.5 seconds as he heads on to the final lap of Season 13, PC F1, the grand finale. He sets the fastest lap. Jasper up down the inside. Look at these two forcing each other to use all the track and some more. Around the outside now tries Jasper, who was ahead of the DRS selection zone. Who knows? Will they all have DRS? It might be a DRS bonanza going down the main straight here. They open the rear wing. Edu's looking racy as well. And look at them all in a line, zigzagging across like they're playing Snake. And it's now going to be 3 wide, almost 4 wide into turn 1. It's Jasper down the inside. Kangakon goes for the dive, and around goes Tyne. Tyne is around. What will this do for the constructors? It's still could be in Williams' favour. Williams is now betting on Kangaskhan to bring glory to the British phenomenal racing brand, and it's Kangaskhan down the inside around turn 4, 5 and 6. Now switches to the outside, forces him off track. It's Kangaskhan versus Jasper. Amir gets another 3-second time penalty. This is the battle. Look at Edu now coming in on the outside of McLaren. It's 3 wide going into the S's. The McLaren goes around, and that is the constructors over. Kangaskhan will take victorious and glory for Williams. That was a mistake from one of the drivers there. Edu looks to capitalise on that. Will come P3, but it's Amir that crosses the line. He will not, though, take the race win. 14 seconds is a gap he could not afford. And Excel Merck, though, now comes across the line. I'm sorry, it's Amir that does take the win. I said I was bad at maths. It's a double win for Amir. 2 Red Bull Racing wins in the 2 final rounds. Kangaskhan drops to 6th. Time drops to 10th.
Liam Markham.
Liam Markham up to P3. It's another podium for Liam Markham. What a race, Fozzy. And it is glory for Williams. My oh my. Whew.
Well, that was the first few laps, and that was quite a great way to round off the season. Kangaskhan, your in-game driver of the day, and that is season 13 wrapped, at least on the track. We'll see how it turns out in the steward's room. Liam Markham staying always penalty free allows him to gain quite a few positions and gets up there on to the podium. That was a great drive by all the drivers. Really unfortunate though for the McLarens, who just got caught out at the wrong moments, caught out where they shouldn't have been. They've gone for gaps, and where it's come out well or come out bad, they tried and they gave it their all. But it is, as you say, Williams that take the Constructors' Championship. And with that, we round off season 13 for what has been an absolutely incredible season. As we say, we've gone around the world, from Brazil to Australia, all the way to France, Britain, Austria, then to Spa, Canada, Russia, and all the other places we've been to. And it has been an absolute joy to commentate on every single part of this. Having the opportunity to commentate over the course of 1.5 seasons has been a privilege. Cliche as it may sound, me and Cameron have loved every moment of it and are incredibly grateful for the opportunity that we've had. And we're grateful not just for the management that we've dealt with here at IRL, but for all the drivers and everyone who makes sure we can go racing every week. From the PC F1 League alone, it's a huge commitment for many people. Running a league isn't all about having a grid of 20 drivers and 2 commentators. There's a lot more to it than that. It's the social media teams, the graphic designers, the league admins, the stewards. It's all a pretty big deal. And on a more personal note, I think when you're given an opportunity to do something like this that you've never done before, it's an opportunity to get out there and just do it. Sod what some people may think, what others may say, and discard the negative approach some people have to what we do. Shouting at virtual cars may seem a little bit strange when you put it like that, but what we're really doing is guiding people on a journey through a racing championship. There may not be real cars, but there most certainly is real racing, and the excitement and storyline that comes with it, well, it's just as real. It's been fantastic here, and I wish all the best to every driver and every member of IRL of the next season. And me and Cameron, well, we can't wait to see what you will do next.
Exactly. You've all been absolutely amazing to talk to in Discord, to commentate on, and I fully reciprocate what Fozzy was saying. There's so much work that goes into league racing, and although it may seem silly to people to put so much passion into what is simply merely a video game about real life racing, you feel that passion each week and never let that passion subside. We all make what we do in life to be incredible, and just looking at this calendar here, 15 rounds, each with extremely rememberable moments within each race. And although Fozzy and I are going to be leaving our commentary role, we may be back. We just need a bit of time off, and we want to see what amazing things you will go on to, but we hope to be back sometime in the future. We've never done commentary before this, have we, Fozzy? We watched some F1 one day and went, oh, I reckon give that a go. And this sounds like a big shout out to our partner, but Grid Finder, I went through them, and I've met TS Bunty. TS Bunty was a driver in PC F2 last year, and he basically got us the commentary role. I remember discussing with MJQ and Craig about our arrangements, and they've been a pleasure to deal with as well. But I don't want to oversay our welcome as such, but we have enjoyed every single moment, and just seeing the completed calendar there, it's quite emotional really, and it's not over. Continue driving, congratulations to Kangakon and Williams for having the 2 championships. And enjoy Season 14. Hopefully we'll be speaking to you and maybe behind the mic once more in the hopefully near future. But from us here in the commentary booth, well, it's now quite a wet commentary, I spilled water everywhere, but don't worry about that. It's time to sign off for one more time. Have a lovely Christmas, and if you don't celebrate, just enjoy the time with your family if you can. It's been a difficult couple of years with this global pandemic, but I hope that a little joy that we bring to you each Wednesday night is enough to help you get through it. And we'll get through it all very soon, and we'll go to pastures new, and we'll look back on these times with maybe not fear, but actually great joy. Anyway, that's enough rambling. Time to get a cup of tea, time to enjoy, time to watch back our laughs and failures in commentary, and we'll see you sometime in the future. Have a good one, and well, goodbye.
Take it easy.